Well, good evening, everyone. I'm your host, Len Dorman. I am the host of the Southern Fried Paranormal Podcast. So I'm here. We're there. Welcome to all the people watching it on a recorded basis, your live basis, YouTube, X, wherever you're seeing it, All Access Network TV. Welcome to the show. If you're watching it next week through the internet, please send me lottery numbers. I need a new pair of shoes, and that's why I have no shoes. So I need a new pair of shoes. All right, we'll come back in just a minute with our guest, person I have never spoken to before tonight. So it's going to be interesting how we get to know each other, Raven Wolfe. Go ahead and start this show up, please, Gwen. Hit the opening. All righty. Hey, go ahead and let's bring on our special guest for tonight, Raven Wolfe.
Well, hey.
Hello. Now,
How
what
are
I'd like
ya?
to do, Gwen, I'm doing just great. I'd like to let Raven Wolfe see the commercial. Of course, he's going to hear me. So let's go ahead with the first photo, the one with the picture, the big girl picture. That's the one. Voices from Beyond. That is her podcast. The name of her business is New Orleans Paranormal Society. They give real ghost tours down in New Orleans. You go down to New Orleans, you can look them up, New Orleans Paranormal Society or Ghost Tours, and you can go ahead and put the other picture up. Here is their number, and here is their website. Here, you can blow that up and take a look at it, and you can stop the video on your end and go ahead and you can read all that information. Fantastic tours. Among the places that will take you to is on one tour in the Voodoo House, and the second, since it's not very far away, the Andrew Jackson Hotel. Guaranteed haunted both places. I've been to both places. In fact, I spent 2 nights in New Orleans and at the Andrew Jackson. And I visited the Voodoo House. Michael will welcome you. He's a nice guy. But that's not all about this group. And I'm asking you what you think of all this, Raven. The New Orleans Paracon next July 31st and the 1st and 2nd of next August. Same people who run it, Chris and Jennifer. They will take you to the said haunted places. At night, there will be 3 nights of real ghost hunting. They will take you for several hours to those locations and allow you to ghost hunt. They bring your own equipment, or you can borrow somebody's equipment. Highly recommend you bring your own. Thomas Patrick Wormley is not allowed. Let's see. But Gwen, you didn't throw out the final picture. The Paracon photo. That one. There it is. This is their beautiful logo. You want to find out more or purchase? Go ahead and purchase your tickets. If you want one of the packages, I'd advise going ahead and putting aside some money to go ahead and pay for those packages at NewOrleansParacon.com. And you'll see more details that I'm talking about. The main star is our good buddy, John Zaffras. And the owner of this network, the CEO, Adriana, will also be there with her fantastic looking hubby. And they will be down there as guests of that Paracon. So if you want to come down and join us, ghost hunting and guaranteed haunted places. And I've been there. I'm not just advertising for them. I've been there and done that. Those are haunted locations. And if you go ghost hunting Friday, Saturday, or Sunday night, or a combination thereof, you will find you a ghost in New Orleans. So what do you think of that offer, Raven Wolf?
That sounds amazing. Now, I have not been to New Orleans, but I do have friends that live in New Orleans, and I would love to share that information with them so that they can share it with some of the people that they know out there. It would be something so much fun to go to. I would love to take part in that. That's amazing.
Just go to NewOrleansParacon.com and get all the information you want. You can send that link to them. Gwen is going to be there. I already said Lee's going to be there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be podcasting on the floor during the entire Paracon during the day. I will also, if Gwen can hook me up, she's got to help me out with this, on the ghost hunts.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I would love to go ghost hunting in those locations. That would be so much fun.
Yes, you would. It's the Andrew Jackson Hotel is amazing. There's a one room that's haunted. Hello, Richard Johnson. Hey, back to you. But the Andrew Jackson, the most haunted hotel room is on the second floor of a back building, separated from the main hotel. You just walk out the lobby, you walk down a little corridor, walk to a door, you open the door, and you got rooms on both sides, 2 stories. And you also see in front of you several rooms, about 4 or 5 rooms. I think it's 4. You got a small courtyard, got a nice place to eat there, nice little fountain. And that room slightly to your left as you're facing that building. Upstairs is the most haunted room. The ghosts like to mess with you. Some people say it's Andrew Jackson's ghost, but I doubt it. He never saw the place. It was built in his honor, not because he stayed there. But it was built on an old orphanage that burned down. And whatever spirit, they won't give their name to anybody. Chris and Jennifer go in there every week, and he will not disclose his name to them. But if you go in there, the lights will flicker. The lights in here flicker because I've got the bulbs that flicker. Rez, what's going on, dog? Welcome to the show. Also, you when you first go in there, you can see the room is you can stay there if you want to. You can rent that room. But I will warn you, the several times I've been in there, the ghost will mess with you and send you roaches. Next thing you know, you walk into a room, you don't see any movement, and the next thing you know, there's 2 or 3 roaches climbing around on the walls, and the lights start blinking a little bit.
Huh.
Next thing you know, you're suddenly swatting at flies, a hot spot, cold spot. This is all what goes on in there is it's absolutely crazy. So I would advise nobody to stay in that room, but you can definitely visit on the tours, and they will be going to the Andrew Jackson Hotel during that Paracon. And you can go. Can you imagine going into that room with John Zaffras?
I would love that. I would love that. I have a lot of respect for John Zaffis,
Yes,
so I think it
John,
would be an incredible experience.
he's a great guy. I met him. I've not met him in person yet, but when I had my birthday show, with my birthday fell on Thursday this year, I had the whole crew on, and John showed up. He stayed almost for the whole show. So we got to talk and kind of got to know each other. He's a great guy.
He definitely is. I got the opportunity to hang out with him at the Connecticut Paracon, I believe it was, and then in Maine as well. And he's just a very down to earth, funny guy, but also really knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got to the age where most people our ages get to where we kind of know what we're doing, I think. Well, I do hang around with a lot of older guys. Greg Haas is older than I am. Dale Kazmarek. Have you ever heard of him?
Not yet. I just met Greg Koss via Facebook yesterday, a couple days ago. Were messaging each other.
We have actually been on investigations together, Greg and
Oh,
I.
fun.
Now, Dale Kazmarek, if you look up ghost picture in Google, and you see that translucent lady sitting on the stone,
Mm-hmm.
you saw it earlier in my intro.
Mm-hmm.
Well, his group took that picture. Judy Huff was a member of his group when the picture was taken, and the way he does his Ghost Research Society group is like a business. They got a not for profit corporation. So if you're ghost hunting with him under his flag, any picture you take that's got any evidence, he has a part of it. And theoretically, you both need to give permission to show that.
That makes sense.
And that's why I gave him copyright. Judy Huff and Dale Kazmarek credit there. Dale lets me show it as much as I want to, because if you saw the picture next to it, you saw a very yellow picture of a man and woman.
Mm-hmm.
Go back and look at that video. Not now, of course, but go back in the video and look at it, and pause. Your video player. You will notice it's the same dress. If you look carefully at the translucent woman on the stone, she was wearing a dress with large polka dots on it.
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch
And if
that.
you look at the man and the woman, that's their wedding picture. She's wearing the same dress, same hairdo. That's because I found out it was Amelia Patrick Humphrey. And like I said, that was her and John Humphrey's wedding picture from 1863.
Wow.
And
That's awesome.
The reason she comes to Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, south of Chicago, the reason she comes there is because their firstborn child, who was born in, I'm not sure if she was born in 1865 or late in 1864, but she died at 11 months and 4 days in 1865. And there, where the family is buried, was not available for funerals till 1869. So Libby May Humphrey is buried in Bachelor's Grove still. The body's never been exhumed.
Oh, wow.
And that's why the mother, you saw that some people have heard her crying walking around the cemetery, and that's why she was sitting on the stone that day. Probably ran out of energy one day when she poured it over from the cemetery where she was buried, which is several miles away, to Bachelor's Grove. Took me 2 years to get that information. Only because I ghost hunted. Hello, Christine. It was only because I was one of two investigators that actually got into the Humphrey house, which is now, used to have it open one Sunday a month. Two of us got in there. We made a deal. It cost us a little bit of money, a donation to the Historical Society, but we got in there. And John doesn't like me. And this is why Amelia showed herself to me, is because I was in John's bedroom. And, everybody in those years, you have separate bedrooms, man and woman. If you got a house that big, and there was a big, nice house. Anyway, as a trigger object, a real beaver hat, was sitting on the bed that belonged to him. John's only about 5'3", 5'4" on a good day. So he wore these tall hats like Lincoln. And it was a real beaver hat, and they got the hat he wore sitting in that room. And I wore it for about 2 hours as a trigger object. John was not amused.
I was wondering about that, like how he felt about it.
Yeah, I'm 5'9.5". I don't need a big stove type hat to make me look, 5'10". I put the hat on; it was way up here. So he was unamused. Amelia was, because John was when he was elected to the state Senate, not the national Senate, but the state Senate. He became the most powerful man outside of Chicago in Cook County, Illinois. And the fact he was mad at me amused Amelia to no end. That's why she said, "Okay, you want to know all this? I'll work with it." She actually started talking to me, which was interesting.
She sounds like a fun lady.
Well, she had a sad life because John, when the time he was elected, brought his secretary in working that had an in-house office instead of the new separate houses they got or whatever offices, the state Senate is allowed in Illinois. And he immediately started having an affair with her. When Amelia died in 1881, John, 6 months later, married his secretary.
Okay.
And in the cemetery, they're buried. John's in the middle. He's got the first wife, Amelia, on the other side, and he's got his second wife the other side of him.
That's gotta make for some interesting. I mean, like, even if somebody was just doing like an EVP session or something there, like the things that must come up are really interesting, I would assume.
Yes, this is quite interesting. It was quite the scandal in Cook County. So that's a little bit of the history there. And Dale Kaczmarek, Judy Huff took the picture under Dale Kaczmarek's flag. That's the story with that. And Dale was the first person I walked into with the evidence. I said, "Here's this picture. Here's this picture. What do you think?" He says, "That's the same person." There you go. That is who your white lady is. It took him a while. It took him a while to close his mouth.
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it because I wanna see it a little closer on the screen for myself.
Well, okay, you can either do that or just go to my Facebook page.
Yeah.
The pictures are side by side on the picture or on top of the page. What do they call it? A banner photo or whatever at the top of your Facebook. I got both pictures posted in there.
Perfect. I'll take a look there.
I made a nice looking overall banner there in Canva. Lee.
Hi, Lee.
Hello, Lee. So that's a little pitch toward Canva. I believe Gwen uses it also, but that's how I made the banner for the show. It's on Canva. So
cool.
It's a cool program. You can also make your own videos. The door you saw opening in my intro, that came from Canva.
Huh. I haven't really used Canva. I'm going to have to check it out and do some fun things with it.
Go in there and play with it. It's a lot of fun. But enough about me. It's these three wonderful lovelies. Hey, don't let the hair fool you. Well, what have you done before? What are you doing now? And where can people find you?
Okay, so I have a show called The Medium Frequency. That's on Monday nights at 9:30 p.m. on All Access Network. I do mediumship. I do tarot. I do palmistry. I do past life regressions. I teach. I also go on paranormal investigations with different teams throughout the United States. I work with different teams in other locations when they need some help with missing person cases on occasion. I am found on Facebook as Raven Wolfe with an E, on Instagram, Salem in the Moonlight. You can also email me at themediumfrequency@gmail.com. We were just at the Salem Paranormal and Horror Conference here in Salem, and it was tons of fun. We had an absolute blast. We went and investigated the Satanic Temple here in Salem, which was really interesting. We had some really intense experiences. It was also very beautiful inside, like the colors and everything, at least in my opinion. I did the main paranormal and horror conference. I travel pretty much everywhere to go to different conferences. I speak on different shows. I teach about different things. I work here in Salem at Pentagram and Zodiac Tea Room as a medium and reader. I also teach. So all the fun things. Hi, Greg. Let's see what else. Upcoming. Oh, I just added a co-host to my show. His name is Christopher Brown. He is also an incredible medium and good friend of mine. It happened actually while we were at the Salem Paranormal Conference. I kept getting the vibe from Spirit that like maybe I should have a co-host, because why not have two different amazing dynamics? And I was like, oh yeah, Chris, why not? Because we have such a good, good connection. So there's that. I have been to Transylvania, in Romania. I've been all over Romania to do paranormal investigations. The list just goes on. So, yep. Yeah, I kind of did ambush him. Actually, funny story. Because I was talking to Gwen about this. I was like, hey, Gwen, I have this really good idea, but I kind of need your help with this. Like, come with me to ask Chris if he wants to be on the show. She's like, okay. So I found her and then we kind of ambushed him. We both did, but like, I was the one who was like, let's go talk to him. And I'm very lucky that he was so open to the opportunity of being able to be a co-host, and he's just amazing. So I consider myself lucky. So yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
He was honored to be asked. Okay. Yeah, it was
yeah.
asked to be a co-host of the show is an honor because especially if it's going on and you've got something built and yeah, somebody else that it'd be something I couldn't turn down. Of course, now I
Yeah.
would. I'm busy. I'm busy with my own podcast. I don't know if I've had one. I had one co-host for about a month, maybe 6 weeks. That's about as long as she lasted. That was before I
Mhm.
came over to this network. She has some personal issues and completely disappeared from the paranormal. If she is doing anything at all in the paranormal, she must block me. It's not for whatever reason because I haven't seen any posts from her whatsoever.
Oh my.
Yes, so I'm guessing the personal issue she had got serious. It's the only thing I can think of. Is nothing on her personal issues like life happens. And
I
sometimes
understand that.
I understand it fully too. What you got to do, you got to do. But I got no reason to burn that bridge. That's behind me. But I got no reason to go back and burn it. I
I
had no.
have noticed that some people that leave the paranormal for a little while, eventually they come back, but it's, when they're in a better place.
You have the occasional jerks. One guy. I thought Dale is several years older than I am, and Greg is up there too. And I was figuring this guy, younger guy, maybe mid to late 30s, would be perfect to kind of take over the paranormal with Tony Zabiskie, who is a tour guide in Chicago and has taken his company he works for, took over a lot of tour groups from Ursula Belsky, who indirectly got a lot of Richard Crowe's business after he died several years. It's been a while. I was still in Chicago when he died. I went to his funeral, and I've been down here 10 years. But anyway, he was popular. He was well liked. I thought he was going to take over the paranormal up there in the next few years because being at his age, he could have gone on the paranormal for another 30 years. But all of a sudden, he started coming on other podcasts and in other people's stream and talking bad about locations.
Hmm.
So there's no real ghosts there. It's not hollering. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your money and bad mouthing locations.
Mm.
And if he didn't want to leave the paranormal, basically he left it because everybody in his stream blocked him. He burned every bridge he'd ever crossed.
That's not good. That's sad. That's
Yeah,
really sad.
it actually is sad because he was once a pretty darn good investigator, and he had gotten evidence. And why he wanted to start denying it, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know another guy here in Arkansas, Fort Smith. He could not do Sundays at Paracons because he wanted, I guess him and his wife just wanted to be active in the church. He became a deacon. So he felt like he needed to be at his church on Sunday instead of at a Paracon. And he got out of it for a little bit, didn't do a whole lot, but last I heard, he was trying to get a few people to do some ghost hunting with him there in Fort Smith.
Hmm.
Lee and I are in perfect agreement on that.
I would agree with that as well.
Right
100%.
there. Mm-hmm. But this guy, he and I don't get along. We're not each other's cup of tea. But I will give him credit. He didn't burn any bridges that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of coming back in and being a little bit more active in the paranormal. I don't have a problem with that. He's not talking out loud about anybody at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, welcome back.
I
And
think
like I
it's
said,
good.
our personalities don't kind of clash. We'll talk. We don't really like each other. But I'll still say welcome back to the paranormal.
Well, I mean, and that's a kindness, to welcome somebody back, even if you don't necessarily get along. I wish, more of us could do that for each other in those kinds of instances where when people are coming in and leaving and then coming back, but they haven't really said anything negative towards another person, that we could just, be kind to each other. And I think there are a lot of us that do that, but there are some that don't.
They cover that if you saw the last Deadpool movie. It said
Which
kindness
movie?
does Deadpool, the last one.
Ah,
It said kindness doesn't cost anything.
right.
Of course, he had Wolverine said neither is keeping your mouth closed.
That is a good point. That is a very valid, good point. I like that.
Well, if you've ever seen a Ryan Reynolds movie, he tends to talk a lot. And if you saw the Deadpool movies, any of them, Right, that's Ryan Reynolds. That's his
I,
personality.
I'm a Deadpool fan. I do love the Deadpool movies. Yeah.
I'm a fan of his wife. That's I watch her movies just to see her.
Mm-hmm.
Blake Lively. I don't care for any of her movies. She looks good doing them.
Yeah. Yeah. There are a lot of I don't think I've seen a movie where he's been in it that I haven't liked yet.
Hmm. He's a funny guy, and my wife, by the way, Gail, she has already said that if you and him ever walk in a bar or in a bar together, I'm leaving. She would not put up with that. She says people, but somebody said, well, he's kind of funny. Yeah, but I have to put up with that 24/7. You don't. You see him here for 5 minutes. I got to live with that.
Well, I would think it would be a lot of fun to see you both together talking in a room, especially if you're both, funny people.
Yes,
Oh,
I
cool.
I've been a little bit funny since I was a kid,
I
and
think
then I got up and first I was in the I was a DJ. Then I was in the JCs for a while, which taught me civics, and I already kind of had a political mind because my father was in politics. So I tend to make fun of everybody.
well, it's good to have a good sense of humor. I think more of that's needed these days. That's just my
Yes,
opinion.
true. Especially in paranormal, everybody's so serious a lot of times, and why so serious? As the Joker said
Mm-hmm.
in one of the second Christian Bale Batman.
Right. Well, I think different ways that within the experiences of working with different paranormal teams, I've seen some very, very serious teams that like don't joke around at all. But then I see the ones that are in between where they joke around and they have a good time with the spirits and with the souls, and it's it's a lot of fun because you get the seriousness but you also get the lightness aspect, because I'm sure that in some of these locations, at least from what I've seen, some of the souls just want to share their story. Like they just want to
Hmm.
be able to share pieces of who they are, and it's not all negativity. There's a lot of positivity too in these places, so looking at both is important.
Yeah, there's a lot more positive than negative, and
Mm-hmm.
with the positive ones, you can have fun with them. At Andrew Jackson, uh, the wife was staying in 110, which, by the way, is just across the foyer from the steps leading up to the most haunted room in the hotel. While I was ghost hunting for 2 straight nights, all night long, dusk till dawn ghost hunt, 2 nights in a row. I was tired, but she actually we had a spirit in the room that sat in a chair. I saw the meters went all only in the chair. And then I turn on Echo Box, and we could sit there, walk in the room, flip the switch on the Echo Box. Hey, how you doing? He said, okay, I'm fine. But while I was ghost hunting, my wife she does not do investigations. She was watching Game of Thrones, binge watching, and he was watching it with her. Gwen is saying, Raven, will you tell us about helping pets and pet parents with your gifts?
Oh, absolutely. So I do connect with pets that are both on this side and on the other side. So sometimes different clients that I work with, they will bring their pets to me and I will have a conversation with their fluffy baby, as I like to call them. It doesn't matter the age, they're still the fluffy babies. So I'll talk to the fluffy babies and see what's going on, and then communicate back and forth between the clients, the fluffy baby, and the fluffy baby's spirit guides as well, because they have spirit guides too. So they will bring people to me, but then they will also come to me when their baby, fluffy baby, has crossed over, and I will get different images of that specific pet. I will get personality traits. I will get messages that are specific to the client's needs, or the fluffy baby's needs to communicate. I've had healing sessions as well that I work with pets. So I do a form of Reiki on pets as well, especially when they haven't been feeling well. I'll do some healing energy work with them. A lot of it started when I was really young. I've always had a very, very strong affection for animals. And I noticed that with cats is where it started for me. I would get images that would be sent to me, and the cat would be looking at me, and I would be like, "Did you just send that to me?" And then I found that the cats would respond. They would nod their heads yes or no. And they sometimes would pick out tarot cards when I was doing readings. I have a few photos on my Facebook profile from when I lived in Arizona. And there was a cat who belonged to a friend of mine, but I lived in the same house. I was roommates with her before she got married. And her cat Fender would come and hang out in my room. And one day I had a whole bunch of cards out, and he was looking at me with this intensity. And I looked at him and I was like, "Do you want to pick one?" And I put the cards towards him, and he pulled out two cards with his teeth. And then he put his paw on them and sat down. I was like, "Okay, you want me to read the cards?" So I started reading the cards and doing interpretations of readings for pets. Like, it was like I was having a client right in front of me, but the client's a pet. And I was like, "Well, this is really cool. If I can do this, like, maybe I can, besides being able to communicate with them from a telepathic level, maybe what I could do is I could start doing pet readings." Well, then I had how they have those automatic pendulums where it swings, like it's hung on like it's hung up on something, and then it just kind of moves back and forth. Well, there was one that had like a magnetic strip underneath. It was just a play one. It wasn't like, it was one of those that do the yes, no, maybe. Well, one time I'm sitting in my room, and I asked Fender if he wanted a treat. And all of a sudden he gets up and he walks towards it, and he pushes it with his paw really hard, and it goes to yes. So I was like, "Okay." So I gave him a treat. Another time I could hear him scratching at my door. So I opened up the door and I asked him, I was like, "Is something scaring you right now?" Because there was something that was scaring him, but like he hit the thing again and it went to yes. Or sometimes he would come into the room and I would ask him if he needed something, and he would hit it and it would go to no. So I should find those photos and send them to you, because I even have a video. I'll have to go back and look for it. But it was the coolest thing. And then I started working with dogs, and I realized, oh, I can do energy work with dogs and send them some healing, and just let the guides tell me what to do. And what was really cool is that in return, and I wasn't expecting this, but in return I received gifts myself. Like, they would help me with different pieces of healing. They would show me different things when I needed to figure out where what decision I was going to make. Or they would tell me when they were in pain, or they would tell me what they needed their owners to know. Because, for example, Fender was a cat who also had brothers and sisters. And there was an instance where he needed a little bit more attention than some of the others did. So he really was able to communicate and let me know what was going on. Now, I have a paw print that's tattooed on my back, and it is for my dog Bosco. I had a German Shepherd Rottweiler, and it was a family dog. He would play, and he got really old. And when I moved out of the house, I would go ahead and come and visit him. Well, my parents at the time told me, "Hey, Chris," uh, my parents told me at the time, "Well, Bosco's about to pass," and I was really sad about that. And I went and I talked to him and I sat down with him and I had this conversation with him about how much I loved him because he was an older dog at that point. And he just imprinted on my heart. But every now and then I can still feel him around me. So, working with clients, I can see animals that have crossed. Sorry, I got an itch on my nose. Um, I can see animals that have crossed over as well as the ones work with the ones that are here. And I can also, the nice thing is with the clients that come in front of me that talk to me about their animals, I can help create healing for them as well with authenticity, because everything that's going to come out of my mouth is going to come from a pure space of what I'm being given. And so sometimes the clients that come to me, they've lost pets in some not so easy natural ways, and they need to know that their fluffy baby still loves them and understands how much that they love them, and I can give them that reassurance when that does come through, that you know they're with you. Even signs and symbols of different things that are going on in their own home, to let them know that that fluffy baby is with them. Because I find that, yes, pets do go over the rainbow bridge. That is something that they do. Some of them come back and choose to be guardian angels for us. And it's not every time, but there are certain ones that definitely do. And to be able to create a healing space for both the client and for the pets that are on the other side, or the pets that are still sticking around to make sure that their owner is okay so that they can cross over completely, and then come back and be a guardian if they so choose. Like, it touches me on a deep level that I don't even know how to begin to express. But I think that that's because the pets in my life definitely saved me growing up. I had, and he is still alive. He's an old man. His name is Max. He is a brown Burmese cat. And when I was pregnant with one of my daughters and I was going through contractions, or I was going through, different pregnancy things, he would always be there for me. And I thought about that and I was like, these these are pets, our fluffy babies are angels in disguise. They are, and if I can help one of them, or I can help, a pet parent, and help them with healing within their growth, and then to help them through the process of grief, then I'm doing something right. And so that's where that all started for me. And it is one of my passions. I do work with humans as well, of course. Like, primarily, I do have people that come to me that have had loved ones or friends, or, well, loved ones can be friends too. Have had someone that is dear and near to them cross over. And I get a lot of, I'll get the visual of what the person looks like sometimes, but sometimes I'll get smells. Sometimes I'll have taste that goes through my mouth. I'll get visions of different things. They'll show me symbols and signs of different things to help a client recognize that it is them that's coming through, which is really neat. Um, but that's how I got started with the whole pet adventure. But it started out with humans in the beginning because I had a junior high classmate that she actually wasn't a very nice person. She was a little bit of a, well, she was a big bully. Um, but she unfortunately, she was killed, and the case isn't fully solved yet. They keep thinking that they have the right person, and I was 12 or 13 years old at the time, and I've offered to help, but I think that because my emotions are linked to it because of the fact that she showed me that act of kindness, that perhaps, the spirits will go to the right people that they are meant to work with. And for her, she's just become a guardian angel for me. And um, that pretty much is what opened up the door to the whole mediumship thing to begin with. And then pets came after that.
Mm. We have a cat that passed,
Mm-hmm.
and once in a while, sometimes in the middle of the night, sometimes right after we've gone to bed, we can feel it jump on the bed.
I was gonna say, because I can feel that this specific, you said it was a cat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Was the cat like smaller in size?
Yes.
Yeah. Like I can still see curling up on the bed, just trying to make sure you're both safe. I'm getting that Kitty still watches out to make sure that, because sometimes visitors will come through, and it's the kitty makes sure that they're safe enough to come into your space. Otherwise, the kitty, it's almost like Kitty's energy is very expansive, and so it will protect both of you while you're sleeping so that energy can't come near. And you can validate it later on, but it's like, nope, you can't come near them. I'm protecting them. They get to sleep. You get to leave them alone.
That's pretty much as the cat was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we uh, we gave her a Viking funeral.
Oh.
So her ashes are out in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
And when Gail and I pass, we're going to put our ashes out in the yard
Mm-hmm.
because we have no family. There's nobody to visit. We could be buried in the nicest cemetery in town, and nobody's going to come by because her friends don't come by now. Uh, we've had almost no guests here. People were helping us
Mm-hmm.
work on the house, yes. Guests as far as visitation, a couple. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody's going to come to our grave. So we're just going to be cremated and have the ashes scattered here on the property.
Because
And the
it's
cat's
it's
already out
some
there.
yeah, I was gonna say she's like everywhere. She's outside and inside.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I get that she completely went over the Rainbow Bridge, and that she decided to come right back because, she wants to be where the rest of her family is. That's important to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, that's about it.
Yeah, she's got a lot of loving energy. I am getting did When she was younger, was she a little bit I don't know how to put this. Did she kind of like spaz a little bit, run around the house really fast and then calm down?
You're talking
Like
about the
when she was
zoomies.
younger? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, would she deal with the zoomies like where when she was young? Like, because what I'm seeing is I'm seeing her lay on her backside, and then all of a sudden would get this like energy lift, and she'd end up doing zoomies and then come right back to where she was and then just calm down.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun.
Yeah, we theorized she had a uh, autism hits in animals too. That she was a little bit autistic.
Yeah. Do you
She
know if
wasn't
she
quite
had
right.
do you know if she had a little bit of an eyesight thing going on towards the end as well?
Not that I was aware of.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm getting a little bit of a vibe of like something like her eyes just like being irritated. I'm not sure what that's about, but huh. Um,
And when people are a little bit autistic, they don't
mhm.
like loud noises. That one thing they do with a child is get the nice noise canceling headphones.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Uh, she could not stand loud noises.
That definitely makes sense. My daughter also wears the head canceling headphones. So I think you would be correct because would she freak out when she would hear a loud noise and jump?
She would jump, and
Mm-hmm.
if I was in here on the computer, she did not like the TV up very loud, or
Mm-hmm.
if I was watching a video, or I actually had her jump up on the computer on my other laptop, not this one, and she was trying to reaching out with her front leg like she was trying to cut a volume switch down.
Yeah.
But I was watching a girl that has a YouTube channel, so she's not a podcaster; she's a YouTuber,
Mm-hmm.
and she has a decent singing voice, nothing great, but she was actually singing a little bit, and that got the cat's attention. It came up, climbed up on the keyboard, and was swatting at the screen, trying to turn the volume down.
I think loud vibrations for her definitely. I could see why she would act like that.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with you on that. But I do get that she's perfectly happy and she's definitely guarding and protecting you both. Like it's interesting because, I'm getting the smaller size cat, but the energy that she's giving me is like a ferocious lioness protector.
She was protective, especially of me. She did not even like Gail when we tried to go to bed in the bed with me.
Mm. So you are her chosen person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
feel like,
she was a stray that came up to the house.
yeah. I feel like even now, like if you end up dealing with, as dealing with different health things, I feel like she still puts her healing energy into you as much as possible because she wants you to be okay at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for when
Yeah.
she walked up to me first time out in the yard. I said she was straight. Somebody put her out. Uh, she jumped in my arms and actually laid down on her back, and my arm wanted me to scratch her belly like a dog.
Aw, that's so cute.
That's very unusual behavior for a cat.
Yeah. Did she, did you ever try to teach her to fetch like the plastic eggshells or anything?
Uh, she would not bring anything back to me. Uh, she liked to bat around cat balls.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I was curious because I had a friend that he taught his cat to go fetch the plastic eggshells. And I thought, from like, Easter and stuff. And I always thought that that was really unique. I didn't know that cats could fetch, but apparently they can.
Some cats love to take a bath, other cats don't.
Right.
So it's
Right.
like they're worse than dogs about having personalities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this one wanted to be a one-person cat, and uh, somebody put her out because I guess she was causing trouble in the home. I don't know.
Mm.
I live out in the country. I live a mile outside the city limits of a town with only 2,200 people.
Wow. So she must have, she must have really been sent your way, because if you're out in the middle of the country and she showed up at your door, like oh yeah, she's telling me I knew where I was supposed to go. She knew where she was headed. She was coming straight to you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It was
She
like
kind
with purpose too.
yeah, came. I was out taking the trash, checking the mail, probably both, and the wife opened the door and said, "There's a cat under our porch," because she heard him yowling. And I got the hot driveway, and she saw me walking up the driveway. She met me
Oh.
away from the house. Could just come running up like a little puppy.
Mm-hmm.
And I said,
Yeah.
"What in the world?"
It's meant to be, because I'm getting that the first people that had her didn't treat her too kindly, but you gave her all the love that she needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was probably picked out her one human and wasn't letting anybody else near him or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now I do
So,
get that she liked your wife, but not as much as she loved you.
yeah, she would tolerate the wife, and she'd let the wife play with her.
Mm-hmm.
They would sit there on in her chair and boop each other's noses.
That's fun. That's the best thing.
Yeah, so that's how it was with a cat. and,
Yeah.
and I haven't had a dog in many years. Uh, my first wife had several cats.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine my ex wife also died just a couple of years ago.
I'm
She got
sorry to hear.
remarried. She got remarried in 91, 90 or 91.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get married for 10 more years in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
But she always had cats. So I imagine she's got they're all around her. I
Mm-hmm.
believe her husband, second husband, put on Facebook that simply that she died. I'm assuming she died of cancer.
Yep, that's about right. It's about right.
Yeah, this
I'm
don't.
get, I'm
They did
getting that
not
she had
know,
a go ahead.
huh?
Sorry.
She did not even know I'd moved to Arkansas. Never, uh, we never talked once I moved to Chicago
Mm-hmm.
because I moved to Chicago, got married to Gail in Chicago, and December 2nd of 2015 we moved down here,
Mm-hmm.
and my ex-wife didn't never really knew that. She knew where I was in Chicago because I told her about that. She
Mm-hmm.
fortunately so we had a screw up in our uh, divorce where she was getting the cemetery plots we prepay for. Her brother sold them for about a week.
Mm-hmm.
Some brother-in-laws are they has a hard time keeping a job. One of those types.
Mm-hmm.
So we bought a plot from him so he'd have a sale, and they screwed up in the divorce where it wasn't signed over properly, and the cemetery wouldn't accept the fact that she had them. So I had to fill out. She had to send me paperwork to Chicago, and I had to get all that straight and send it back.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only time we communicated was a letter with a sad story about the cemetery not accepting the paperwork we put in. I said, "Oh gosh!" So I do it all over and then send it back. I just sent it back to the funeral parlor.
Mm-hmm.
I said, with a note, make sure she signs this and let me know if anything's wrong. Never had any other contact. I'm assuming I filled it out correctly, and I'm
Yeah.
assuming that's where she's buried now.
Yeah. I do feel that she dealt with a couple bouts of the cancer. I don't think it was like the first time around that she had dealt with it when she
But
passed.
I can't answer that. If that's a question, I cannot answer that. I don't know.
Oh no, 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 no. It's just the energy that I'm receiving.
Okay.
I'm getting that she dealt with a couple different bouts of it. So two two different times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
her mother also died of cancer. So I guess that the weakness for cancer runs in families.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did do you know if her mother dealt with some stuff with her lungs by chance?
Uh, I think she did a little bit because she was a lifetime smoker.
Yeah. Yeah, because I keep getting pulled to the lung area for her.
And she she had a hard time. She had 4 kids, and her husband was in the military for 30 years
Mm-hmm.
and did 3 tours in Nam and was never home for
That's
Christmas
that's
during that
really
time.
hard. Yeah. That's really hard.
Yeah, he spent 3 Christmases in a row in Vietnam.
Wow.
He'd get out and they'd call him back. So that was hard. What they do, they put up the tree at regular time, and they used artificial trees, so they just kept it up until he came home. If it was January, February, March, April, they'd leave the tree up and all the presents under it, so he would have Christmas when they got there.
Oh.
Interesting family. They kind of fell apart after the mother died. Kind of went on their separate ways. I'm not even sure that my wife was speaking to her. Well, my ex-wife may not have been speaking to her 2 sisters when she died,
Yeah. I don't get that she was.
because she did not. They were not even mentioned in her obituary.
That was intentional. Yeah.
Hmm. I've had some crazy friends.
Yeah.
My best friend ever had. We had not spoken in. Well, see, we stopped speaking 92 because of his fourth wife,
Mm-hmm.
and neither one of them wanted me around.
Hmm.
Her because I wouldn't have much to do with her, and him because this was his third wife, and he'd lost the other 2 to other guys.
I see.
He was killed rather suddenly. He was struck by lightning.
Ooh, that's hard.
He never
That's
knew what
hard.
hit him. And
Mm-mm.
another friend of ours came out to where I lived because I didn't know. I wasn't keeping track of him. He finally was living his own life. He tried to copy everybody else because everybody else seemed to have a good time, and he struggled with that because he really couldn't keep up with us, his other friends, uh, because he couldn't keep a wife, obviously, uh, and even in our younger days, he married. He graduated and was marrying a girl 1 year younger, and when she graduated in June, and I think they got married by July, August.
It was quick.
Yes, he really had no childhood after that. We had another friend of mine the same way. Uh, he, he graduated in June. His mother died. We had a funeral at the church And exactly a week later, he got married.
Mm.
That was
Mm-hmm.
his first of 5 wives.
That's a lot.
Yes. So he was always having wives, and I was out having fun.
Mm-hmm.
I became a DJ. Uh, I, I, sorry, Gwen, I'm going to say a word here. Uh, I have actually dated more strippers than most guys see.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
I didn't think so.
Yeah. When I lived in Florida, I lived in Key West, and I lived in a house where a lot of my roommates were strippers at the different bars that were in Key West. So I was kind of used to being around them. I didn't do it myself, but um, it's pretty cool people, you know. Really,
Yeah.
some of them were very down to earth.
Yes. You lived in Key West, the city?
Yeah, Key West, the city.
Okay. Some people call all the islands Key. They're just called the Keys.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Key West, the
So,
city.
I just wanted to get that straight because when people say Key West, I think of the city first.
Mm-hmm.
Because people tend to forget the whole island chain is called the Keys,
Mm-hmm.
and Key West, of course, the biggest town there. And you're very close to one of my bucket list locations.
Really?
Yes,
What's your bucket list location?
Fort Jefferson.
Is it due to the paranormal activity or for what reason?
Both historical. I love
Mm-hmm.
history and
Mm-hmm.
paranormal. There's no real big battles fought there, but it'd
Mm-hmm.
be fun to investigate a big stone fort like that.
Oh,
You know
neat.
where it
Well,
is. You know where it is, right?
no, I don't because I'm still pretty new to the East Coast side of the
Okay.
country. I'm originally from
Okay.
California.
Okay. How long were you in Key West?
I was in Key West for, oh my goodness, about 2 years in my 20s.
Okay. When you're looking on a map of the Keys, it kind of arches, kind of a crescent
Mm-hmm.
moon. Continue up for a couple of finger widths, and you'll see a little tiny island. And as you blow up the map, you'll see where it's marked Fort Jefferson.
Okay, I'll take a look.
It's technically it's the very end of the Keys, but it's about a 4 hour boat ride from the last island. You
Okay.
pass Key West, go out to the last island that's connected. You catch a boat. It's about a 4 hour boat ride to Fort Jefferson.
Ooh. Yeah. I'll take a look at the map so I can see it on the
Yeah,
map for myself.
it's they're having troubles. It's a park, and you can go there, but it's not getting that many visitors because not that many people know where it is, and because it's down there at the end of the Keys. So you're talking about a several hours drive from Miami, plus getting to Miami. Then it's
Mm-hmm.
several hours drive to get to the end of the Keys, and then it's a 4 hour one way boat ride.
Mm.
And I would love to investigate that place. They used to control the Gulf of Mexico, and whoops, Ravens went away. We'll just had to wait for our back. There you are again.
Yeah.
Lost you for a minute,
Yeah.
but that's how old the fort is. And then it was used for they put coal there, so ships going around the Gulf or leaving, uh, not St. Augustine, but Tampa Bay in that area, Tampa Bay St. Pete, going to say Mexico is a refueling station. Could stop there and load up with coal. And it really didn't have any battles there, but that place was probably quite a few people died there, and you know how especially male ghosts are about there where they served as
Mm-hmm.
a guard. A lot of them you can still see, and to be there in that isolated. because you are miles from anything.
Mm-hmm.
You're out there in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. I
Right.
would not visit late. I don't want to go out there late in the summer or the early fall. I'd want to go out there in the spring because I would not want to be part of a hurricane. I've walked through a 2 and a 1 down in Florida. Did you have a storm hit while you were down there in the Keys?
Yeah, and it scared me at the time because I had never been in hurricane weather before. Um, but it ended up being fine. It was like a level one. It wasn't anything too
Hmm.
serious, but I always kind of worried that it would get to like a level three.
Right.
But I never really had that issue while I lived there. So, which
Yeah.
I'm grateful for.
Look at Port Jefferson. If you ever go back down there,
Hmm.
see if you can catch a tour boat to go out there. But that's on my bucket list to investigate. Because that's a long ways from here. Because I got to drive all the way. Because we're almost straight up from New Orleans,
Hmm.
so we'd have to drive down New Orleans, hit I-10, go over to Florida, hit the main interstate down to Miami. Then I got to drive through the key to all the way to the end of the Keys, and then catch a 4 hour boat ride just to get there.
Oh wow, that's an adventure.
That would be an adventure
Hmm.
because on I-10 from New Orleans to about where I'd go down, about north of Orlando, and cut downward. Shoot, that would take probably a 12-hour ride.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, then again, I'm the type of person that'll drive across the country just to go do something. I literally went from here and drove all the way back to California and stopped at several places and did investigations and then went to a ball and then went to California to visit family and friends and then drove all the way back home.
Which part of California? That's a big state.
LA.
LA.
Yep, LA and San Diego area. And then over where like the Palm Lano, it's a little city next to Pear Blossom. I've got some friends that are out there, and so I go and see them every now and again,
It,
and I
that's just a
enjoy it.
stone's throw from the border, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I like
The
to
reason
travel.
I say that is because the bridesmaid in mine and Gail's wedding, the maid of honor,
Hmm.
was from that area.
Oh, cool.
Her husband was a border guard at the time,
Okay.
and then they just a few years after that they moved up to the Seattle area where he's continuing, except in a supervisory role, the harbor there at Seattle, and they bought a house up in the mountains.
Hmm.
So they went
Yeah,
from desert to up on a hilltop.
that's
Of course, she was
cool.
in St. Louis, so it was all different to her. She was a redheaded Midwestern girl. And remember I said we got married 2001?
Mm-hmm.
We got married on November 10th, 2 months almost to the day after 9/11.
Oh, wow.
My best man had to fly in from Dallas.
Wow.
And her husband had to take her to San Diego. So she caught a
Mhm.
plane to Detroit, which then she went back to Chicago. The
Yeah,
best man had to just drive to the Dallas airport and catch a plane. But
I was
still,
gonna say. I
all
was
those
gonna
new. No,
go
go ahead.
ahead. Oh,
I
I
was
was
going to
gonna say I know that during that time, like all the flights were crazy because of everything that happened.
right, and you got all this new security. Nobody knew exactly what to do. They were learning. Even the experienced people were having to learn all this new stuff. So both of them did not have. Neither one of them had an easy flight at all to get to the wedding. So
Yeah.
my hat's always off to the two of them. Hello, Chris O'Toole.
Hi, Chris.
He's got the same last name as one of my favorite James Bond characters. You ever watch James
Who's it?
Bond movies?
Um, kind of, not like
Okay.
fully in depth, but like who's your favorite character?
Oh, it's a girl that is John Connery in his last James Bond performance, outside of the one where they non-studio. It's not canon. It's not a James Bond movie. It was just one they kind of pretended to be a James Bond movie. They talked Sean into a paid him a whole suitcase full of money, and he did it. But his last real James Bond appearance, and he's in a casino, of course, in tux, of course,
Mm-hmm.
looking suave, styling and profiling. And a girl walks up in a low cut thing, halfway to her navel, and she says, "Hi, my name's Plenty O'Toole." And he just looks at her. She said, "Oh," he said. She said, "I'm Plenty." She said, "Of course you are." And she said, "Plenty O'Toole." And he says, "Named after your father, perhaps."
Ah.
Which was just hilarious. You're watching this serious guy throwing dice in a kind of serious Bond movie, and he comes up, your name's Plenty O'Toole. You're named after your father." John Connery had a little bit of sense for humor in some of the movies that let him show it.
I do like Sean Connery as an actor. Like I did learn a little bit about some of the movies and things that he did, and I did enjoy what I did see of the James Bond. I saw the first one at a when I was younger with him in it.
Dr. No.
Mm-hmm.
This one was in 68 or 69, and is Diamonds Are Forever.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think of Gwen when the singing of the song "Diamonds Are Forever." Who needs men? Give me a diamond. They're forever. Is basically the tone of the whole song. And I know Gwen. She would take a nice sized diamond about over any guy. You notice she's not breaking in and screaming. She knows I'm telling the truth. Who needs a guy if you got a good sized diamond in your hand? She's laughing.
Oh man.
I do have a lot of fun with diamonds because one of the most interesting diamond fields in the country is only about 45 minutes from here.
Really?
Yes, you can go there and hunt for diamonds. They charge you little or nothing to go out there. They give you a shovel and a bucket, and you go out there and just sift through and see what you can find. And a lot of people have found very tiny. It's nothing big, but they have found some nice little small diamonds out there.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us how to get in touch with you for readings or anything.
So
That's one thing we have not touched yet. Where can
yeah.
people find you?
So you can, there are a couple ways. Number one, you can email me at the medium frequency at gmail.com, or you can get me on Facebook at Raven Wolf with an E, or on Instagram, Salem in the Moonlight. Or if you're wanting to have an in person session and you're coming to Salem, Massachusetts, you can contact Pentagram in Salem or Zodiac Tea Room in Beverly and schedule a session with me. I offer readings that have the past life regression. I do past life readings, but then I do past life regressions. I do mediumship for both pets and humans. I also do one on one classes. I do also have a group on Facebook called the Medium Frequency that you can go ahead and pop in and join in on and message me there. You can also come to the paranormal conferences, and I usually have special deals for the different conferences that I go to so that everyone has an opportunity to get a private session with me. The only thing I don't do in those situations is past life regression, just because it's in a, loud environment. So those are ways that you can get a hold of me. I
Right.
have a
Gwen says, "Don't forget,
podcast.
yeah, don't forget that one."
Yeah. Oh, I just saw her comment. Yeah, I have a podcast as well. You can find me at the medium frequency. It's 9:30 p.m. Eastern EDT. And you can come on you can comment on the show with Chris and I, Christopher Brown and I. And we have that show every single Monday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And that is a good way to get a hold of us. Or you can reach out to Gwen Johns, who you saw commenting, and she'll get a hold of me um, for you as well.
Oh, and let's keep touch because
Yeah.
you're what we could do, even if I have another guest, is have you pop into the show if you're about to go to a Paracon.
Okay.
The week,
I
the
would
week,
love
the
that.
week before you go to a Paracon,
Mm-hmm.
just tell the guest, excuse me for a second. Here's another host. We're going to talk about a Paracon for a few minutes, and you basically just slide in there. We can do talk about the Paracon when you're going to be there. Who else is at the Paracon, and then I can get back with a guest. Just basically as a commercial break to wherever you're going.
Awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That would be wonderful.
Because that's what I like to do is promote. That's why when I'm asking people to come on, I said, if you got a group, if you're a person like you that's got a site where you're a medium, or if they just want to promote themselves, they want to say, well, I'm doing a Paracon, or I'm going to a Paracon, whatever. If they got a haunted location,
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to do that. I could even at some point in the future show you some really cool places on a video of different areas of Salem that are known to be haunted, which would be kind of cool too.
that would be fun. You can put something together like that. Be glad
Yeah,
to have you back on the show
thank
because you can
you.
talk about that on your show, but I probably have a few different people watching
Yeah,
and
definitely.
get you some, get whoever part of repair con whatever you're doing,
Thank you. I
give a little bit more
appreciate it.
exposure because that's just my thing. I don't do a whole lot. In fact, all of next year, I'm probably going to one. I went to one Paracon this year, probably going to one next year. The one I went to the Cajun Con this past year, spring. This coming summer, I'm going to the first inaugural uh, New Orleans Paracon, and that's probably the only one I'll do all year. We're doing some renovation at the house. And by the way, this is Larry, Moe, and Curly behind me.
Ah, okay.
Curly's the one to my right here, bald headed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get another tapestry to pull under the flashing light you see here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put another one up here. His name is going to be Shemp. I hope you've watched the Three Stooges sometimes.
Oh yeah, I have seen the Three Stooges. I don't know all the names of them, but I
Okay,
watched them when I was younger.
Larry, Moe, and Curly are the main crew, and sometimes I believe it was Curly's brother Shemp who came on when Curly had to you know, go away. They only appeared in one episode. It was after Curly had some heart issues, and he really couldn't say a whole lot. But he was just on the train. They had him propped up in a fake train car, and uh, Larry, Moe, and Shemp came through, and were talking around him for just a few seconds, and then moved on. That's about all he could do at that point.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I've actually been feeling a little bit of a desire to watch some of the movies I watched when I was a kid again as an adult. So that might be something for me to do.
yeah, well, the James Bond movie was talking about. Do you like Vegas?
I do.
The movie was shot in Vegas,
Okay.
and the Vegas like it used to be. Vegas now, not too many people are going there right now. They're in a slump,
Yeah.
really bad slump. And it's not like it used to be. They try to put celebrity chefs in all the restaurants, so the buffets are triple, quadruple what they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, you sit there for you just have $6 or $7 at most in your hand, and you could eat in any buffet up and down the strip, and sometimes for half of that.
Wow.
And now it's just skyrocketed because everybody wants to be catered to. It's all high end market now. Just like everything else, the middle class can kind of get squeezed out, and they're just catering to the rich. Trouble is, you don't have that many people around. You may make more money off the rich, but it doesn't look like a crowd because you may be having just a dozen people in there at a time. But the James Bond movie was shot in the late '60s, Vegas like it used to be.
I'll have
They
to
actually
watch
they
it
have a
again.
scene where they
I'll have to watch it again so I can
yeah
look at it.
they shot it in actual circus in Las Vegas. So you get to see a lot of circus, and I've been to circus twice. It's still like it was. That's one place you can go, and they have a steakhouse there, old style prices, one of the cheapest steaks and one of the best steaks. Circus,
I'll keep that in
Las
mind for the
Vegas.
next time I go to Vegas.
Yeah, go to circus, good steakhouse, and
I
not
like
that
good
much
steak.
money. Good steak is good.
Yeah.
We got somebody in town who is about to reopen a restaurant with the original. It failed before a guy closed it down, but they've talked him into coming back and cooking the steaks. He knows how to cook a steak, and the guy buying it has bought. He has a ranch, growing his own cattle. He's bought chicken houses, and he's going to be serving his own chickens and his own beef
Hmm.
with a guy who knows how to cook a steak. So, in another 6-8 months, we're going to have a very good steakhouse right here.
Lucky.
And I'm kind of gotten in friends with the people that I just kind of started meeting everybody. And they also bought out a hardware store, so I go there quite a bit. So we're always talking. They're opening up a meat processing place. Got the concrete laid, and I think they're starting to roof it. Where they be
Hmm.
processing, they process deer for the public. You can't sell deer meat. But that's
Hmm.
also where they'll be processing the beef and selling the beef at you know a little bit above wholesale price. This Their prices will be extremely competitive.
I could
They
imagine they
say
would make really good beef jerky with that as well.
probably what they're going to get into too. I think they know how to process stuff. They'll be going for everything. So we're looking forward to all that.
Yeah.
But how did you get into this? When did you discover you were a medium?
When I was 12 years old, I unfortunately had a classmate. She wasn't a friend, she was a bully, who was murdered, unfortunately. And I started seeing the dead after she passed. And at first it was her, and then it ended up being others, and it just never really stopped after that. So I figured, well, what am I going to do with this? And I learned about mediumship and like how I could help other people. I started using the gift to, help the people and the pets that I could. And that's really how it all started for me within the paranormal. When it comes into mediumship, the paranormal actually didn't start for me until I was in Utah. I worked at a store as a medium and reader, and they asked me to help out at one of the booths and do some readings. So I did, and that's how I found out about the whole paranormal community. I had no idea there was such a huge community out for paranormal type works. And so I started going to the events, and, I was a part of a group for a little bit, and it just wasn't the right fit for me. And I realized that I wanted to not just work with one specific group, I wanted to work with people all over the country. Um, my primary focus has always been, the metaphysical work, and now I'm doing paranormal as well. So I put the two of them together, and I help people where I can and travel where I can, but I'm also a paranormal investigator. So on top of having the skill sets of the mediumship and the, capacities to do readings and that kind of thing, I also like using the tools to verify, verify different things. I like using necrophonic. I like using dowsing rods and EVP systems. Like it was all a brand new thing to me when I lived in Utah, but that was well over 9 years ago now. So I've only been in the paranormal field for about 9 years, but I've been doing metaphysical work, doing the mediumship, teaching people about different styles of learning within metaphysics since I was much younger, since I was 18, but started seeing the dead when I was 12, and
Okay.
fairies before that.
Fairies. Okay.
Oh yeah, I've got a picture of a fairy. My family took us to Europe when we were little kids, and I started seeing fairies in the forest out there. And I had this really cool vision experience with one of them. And um, before I went to California, there was a swimming pool at the place that I lived at, and I was swimming by myself, and all of a sudden I saw this fairy flutter across and sit on top of the balcony. And I asked if I could take a picture of him, and he said yes. So I'll have to send you that photo, but I have a really clear cut, like it is a fairy photo.
Cool.
Yeah.
And by the
Yeah.
way, we are at 93 minutes already.
Okay.
You want to keep on going for a little while?
Well, I actually do have another thing that I have to go to, so I can't
Okay.
keep going tonight, but I would love to come back and talk more in the future with you.
Okay. I'm sure Gwen is listening. That we can go ahead and start ending the show. But the first, what I'd like you end you with once again, tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me on Facebook as Raven Wolf with an E, Instagram, Salem in the Moonlight. You can also find me at The Medium Frequency on Facebook. You can also find me at The Medium Frequency at gmail.com. You can also find me at Pentagram in Salem or Zodiac Tea Room in Beverly, Massachusetts.
There you go. All right. I really appreciate you coming on the show. We will have you back, especially when you're taking off and you're at some Paracon, or got one in the future. Come in a week or two before the Paracon, and we'll definitely talk about the Paracon,
Sounds good
wherever
to
it is
me.
you're going. And Gwen, we are just about ready to wrap her up here. And so we'll go ahead and start bidding adieu. Raven Wolf, it's been a pleasure getting to know you. Yes, she's there. Like I said, it's been a pleasure. Welcome to the network. And
Thank you for having me.
thank you. And if you need a guest sometime, I'll be glad to help you out.
I'd be honored. Thank you.
Of course, Monday night, we'll do it after football season. I'm usually watching Monday night football.
Sounds good to me.
I'm a football junkie. I like football and I like to eat chicken wings.
Chicken wings are good.
Yes. And I'm good at cooking them. I've had some people say, "Oh, you are going to a restaurant business." I say I do all the cooking here. Well, some people ask, why are you married? And she'll say, because I found a man that cooks.
Well, it's always a benefit when you have somebody that can cook in your life.
Yes, it is. All
Hey
right, Gwen.
guys, good show.
Thank you. We've had a good time.
Yes.
Raven Wolf's been a great guest.
Thank you.
She seems to
Would
be
you
a
like
great
to tell
person
everybody
too.
what you want are going to try to do next week? Get some people to
Yes.
pop in.
What I wanted to do is just we can figure out who's going to come and who's not going to be there over the weekend. Form some kind of banner. But what I like the goal would be for me is to take my show time, the regular time, but have everybody who's on the network at least come in or out, whatever they want to do. Spend 5 or 10 minutes online. That's fine. And just kind of wish everybody watches the network. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a few jokes. We'll talk about what's going on and talk about wherever they can find everybody.
Nice.
And just have a nice Thanksgiving show. Because what's the goal of Thanksgiving? To spend time with family.
Yes.
And Raven, this is a family. We
It
all
is,
love
Raven.
each other.
It is.
Absolutely.
Well, Raven, I know you have to go, so we're going to get Len and you guys to just say goodnight, and I'll end the show for you.
All right. Raven, it's been a pleasure. I look forward to doing it again. You have a great night. Get on to whatever you've got to do and take care of business.
You as well. Good night.
Good night. And to the audience, just remember the paranormal never sleeps. I sometimes do, sometimes I don't. Happens when you get old, but the paranormal never sleeps. There's always something going on somewhere. Good night, everybody. See you next week on Turkey Day.